Once you've finished preparing QuickBooks data, you can switch to DentaLab for further setup of lab-specific business and production features. Preparing DentaLab for day-to-day operations depends on what you currently want to achieve. If you are at the trial stage and simply want to see how the system features work, initial setup should take no longer than 15 minutes. However, if you're ready to start using DentaLab, we recommend that you complete the setup entirely to ensure that all required and optional information is entered. Before you can start working with DentaLab, you need to determine how you want your lab to operate. Properly setting up initial information in DentaLab is critical for successful operation. For scheduling, we recommend that you set up work centers, schedules, and holidays. If you wish to use case enclosures, shades, quality control issues, and custom price levels, please review these and other areas in the Basic List section. Please note that in both QuickBooks and DentaLab, there are security levels to establish user IDs and passwords to limit access to specific areas of each. One of the most important decisions you will need to make is how you want to set up work centers, which can also be viewed as scheduling centers. Proper setup of work centers is critical for efficient laboratory operation, because they're involved in many parts of the program, such as case entry, scheduling, work tickets, due reports, and customer preferences. Setting up work centers varies from lab to lab and depends on the size of the lab, number of technicians, and whether you have a full service or limited service lab. If you have a very small lab, it would make sense to create just one work center and schedule all cases into that one work center. Or you can make as many work centers as you have technicians and align your work centers with your technicians. For larger labs, we recommend that you set up work centers based on how a case progresses through the lab, as well as the type of work that needs to be done. For example, a full-service lab might have work centers aligned with their major departments, such as preparatory, crown and bridge, dentures, implants, metals, quality control, and shipping. You can also choose to align your work centers with departments. You can create a new work center by clicking on Work Centers in the Basic List section. Then click the Work Center button and select New Work Center. Enter the following information and then click Add. For the description, enter the name of the work center. For the unit limit, enter the maximum number of units that can be scheduled in a single day. For the supervisor, select one of your employees from the given list. To edit a work center, double-click on it, enter or change the information you want, then click Apply to save the changes. Typically, doctor materials, which are also known as case enclosures, are materials that are sent by the doctor to the laboratory to produce the case. These items are expected to be returned to the doctor with the completed case. They are optionally used in case entry to track what has been sent. Some sample enclosures are upper impression, lower impression, articulator, and shade guide. To create or edit case enclosures, click on the Doctor Materials link under Basic Lists. Enter the name of the enclosure and click OK to save it. DentaLab provides some of the most commonly known tooth shades. However, you may need to complete your list of tooth shades for selection in case entry. You can establish custom as well as standard shades. You can do this by clicking the Tooth Shades link under the Basic List section. Click New after clicking the Tooth Shades button and enter the name of the shade. Click Add to save your entry. You will also be able to add to your shades table when entering a case. Quality control issues are used to mark individual case items that were made incorrectly or have defects. These are used in case entry, barcode scanning, and printed on case reports. They can refer to both internal quality control issues or reasons, or ones reported by the doctors. To track quality control issues in cases, you will need to establish a list of issues or reasons. You can do this by clicking the Quality Control link under Basic Lists. Choose New after clicking the QC button and enter a description. Click Add to save it. To let the scheduler know which days to bypass when scheduling cases, you need to enter holidays and other non-work days in the list of holidays. Please note that whether to schedule on Saturday or Sunday is established in the Company Information link in the Options section. You can also update these settings when editing the list of holidays. You will need to enter holidays when you first implement the DentaLab system, and then, as each new calendar year approaches, and prior to the point when you would begin scheduling into the new calendar year. To set up the holidays list, click on the holidays link under Options. Choose a date from the calendar on the left, click on it, and then click Add to add this date to the list of holidays. If you've added an incorrect date and want to delete it from the list, select the date in the list and then click Remove. Please note that holidays are automatically deleted from the list once they have passed. Initially, for each product or service that will be included in cases or work orders, all items are created in QuickBooks. However, there are additional Dentalab specific settings that you need to set up. To view or change item settings, click on Items in the Basic List section, and then double-click on the item you're interested in. Item settings are divided into several categories and organized using tabs.
Please consider the following settings.
Billable. This setting specifies whether an item is included on an invoice. By default, all items are set to billable. If you do not want an item or production step to be displayed on an invoice, clear the billable checkbox. Technician. This setting specifies whether you want to track this item in technician productivity. Technician items are printed on work tickets with a barcode. By default, all items are set to be technician items. If you do not want this item to have a barcode on the work ticket, clear the technician item checkbox.
Default Work Center. This setting specifies the work center the item will be scheduled in if no other work center is specified. Pre-assigned technician. This setting specifies which technician will be assigned to complete the item by default. Schedule factor. This setting specifies a multiplier or factor of how many scheduled units will be utilized by this item when it's scheduled. Scheduled days. This setting is very important for scheduling and reflects the standard number of days it takes to complete an item. Constant units. This setting specifies that an item will not increase quantity when added from a standard procedure where you've specified more than one unit for the procedure. An articulation is a good example of when this setting is used. Although a case may need work on many teeth, there is typically only one articulation.